Yes, we are back. How you doing, everybody? How to start show number 104. I'm Brad Grunberg, and
Lauren Francesca with the
and
amazing.
that is man. I'm geeking out. Barry Williams, baby. How
Hey,
are
we need three more boxes somehow.
you?
Oh, there you are. There you are.
Yes, we do. Barry, oh man, you have no idea, buddy. Barry Williams played Greg Brady on the Brady Bunch for, I believe, 5 or 6 seasons.
Five,
And I'm
five
telling
already.
you, how did it all start? Take us back when the audition for Sherwood Schwartz, all that good stuff. Because Lauren and I are both actors, and there are a lot of actors that listen and watch us.
Oh, well, okay. So Sherwood had this idea for the show, and I'd been working in television for about 4 years. But when this kind of came up, I think what helped was we filmed our show, the Brady Bunch, on Paramount's lot, and a lot of television shows going on there. The Mod Squad was one, and I had a guest role in that. That Girl with Marlo Thomas, and I had a guest role in that, and also Gomer Pyle, USMC, and so I'd also guested on that. So the director of our first 7 episodes, including the pilot, the first episode, knew me because he had directed me in both the Gomer Pyle and That Girl shows. And so the studio knew me, and the network knew me, and the director knew me, and professionally. So I think that probably helped a little bit. Don't know. I mean, when it comes down to it, these things, they're so sort of subjective. Yeah, it's like Johnny Bravo. You got to fit the suit.
Oh, don't go to Johnny Bravo yet. I'm excited to talk.
You gotta be like the right height, and and eyes, and and you have to fit into the family because we look like and that kind of stuff. And so what they did was they sent out what's called a cattle call, and that is virtually everyone who has a representation in greater Hollywood, Los Angeles area, comes down, and they start whittling things through. So there were about 3-4 interviews, screen test, as they kind of like matched people. And I always have visions of them having a big board with thumbtacks in it. Go, well, if we use this person here, we do put that person there, but if it's that person, that kind of. So they finally settled on us. None of us knew each other. We were all meeting for the first time when we started filming. So that was kind of cool, because that was what the show was about, was meeting each other. So we gradually, as we worked, got to know each other, and then there you go. We're on Friday nights, prime time.
Wow.
How did you know it was going to be what it was? Did you have
No one knew that.
No.
I was glad to have a job where I could go to work often. Doing 4, 5, 6 different shows in a year, not the same as spending 4, 5, 6 months in a row doing show after show. So that was a great learning ground, and I learned a lot about direction. I learned a lot about lights. I learned a lot about budgets. I learned a lot about cast and how to fit into a tight 6 shot.
That's something. Well, there's always
so
these.
Cool.
Yeah, go ahead, Lauren. Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, what's your favorite episode of all time?
Yeah.
Do you have?
Yeah. What's yours, Lauren? What was yours?
Well, I just Marsha, all the Marsha stuff, because being a girl with long hair, I could really relate to. So those were a lot of mine.
Mine were. Right. I have some great ones. One's Johnny Bravo, and when you moved into the den. That's what I love with the beats. But I love the 2 that stick out are Greg and the Bushes. I always tell people, when you were talking to Peter,
with
Peter, you were talking to the girl, Cyrano de Bergerac, kind of a reenactment.
Cyrano de Brady is the name.
Brady, that's right. I love that. You knew all the answers, what to tell him so he could get his girl. Yeah. And I love when you took Bobby on your date. And it was great. And then Phil Packer is one of my favorites.
Okay, with the frog.
Yeah.
Frog.
Oh, the frog. Oh, the frog and the pizza. Oh my goodness.
Now that gal, Rachel, she was on our show 3, maybe 4 times, and finally was kind of established as my go-to girlfriend. It was the daughter of Sherwood Schwartz.
Oh, that's his daughter?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
She did.
You,
She doesn't use. She at that time her stage name was her name is Hope Schwartz. Hope, um, uh, Hope Sherwood.
oh, that was her. Oh, that's her stage name.
Yeah.
What's your favorite episode of all time?
Anything that has to do with Hawaii. I mean, yeah,
Oh, the
it's
TT.
recorded, and I keep this close to me.
Oh, you got. Oh, there you go.
I mean,
TT.
everything about that. I don't if you find one of these and you're going out in the water, I don't recommend taking it with you. Just leave it where it is.
Just leave it.
It's good luck for me now.
Oh man.
Joe Gutfield asked, "What was your favorite trip, Hawaii or Grand Canyon?"
Oh, no doubt, Hawaii. I mean,
Hawaii,
awesome. And we were doing this basically a travel log. So we went to all the cool places and did all the fun stuff. And I got to go surfing. They rented the whole beach for us, and then all the surfers that were out there were all paid by our company, right? So I got every wave I wanted. And hey, guys, hang on. It was just great.
Barry, you were Mr. Teen Beat back in the day. I mean, I can imagine your social life was pretty damn good. You could probably date most any lady back then, being Greg Brady, correct?
Yeah, but I only had eyes for Marcia. So
yeah, let's get into that. Did you date Marcia? And what's the story? Did you go out with Florence Henderson? Is that true?
And
well, I took Florence on a date because I admired and respected her, and she's a singer, and I knew that I wanted to have music and singing in my world. It was a very, very, sweet, kind of innocent, date, but she was nice. We were good friends, and so we went out to a swanky club, the Coconut Grove, it was called in Los Angeles, Coconut Grove, and we saw a wonderful singer. His name is Rovon, very kind of musical theater, legit sounding guy, and had a great time. We had a great friendship all of her life, that went on. But I think sometimes these things get spun around in the spirit of gossip and what have you. Maureen and I legitimately did date for about a season and a half. Yeah, nice. But because it probably sounds a little strange because as I know now from doing our podcast, we do this podcast, Real Brady Bros. I do it with Christopher Knight. As we now know, our viewers kind of had a different take on our show than we did as actors. And so for us to go back, and the podcast is essentially episodic recap. So we break down an episode infinitum and talk all of the minutiae and what we think about it now and what we might have done differently, or what we do remember. And we have different memories because we're different ages. But we've learned a lot about what our viewers, how they relate to us and how they know us. And so, I say, I dated Maury McCormick for, a couple of years. That just seems like so. But when you only have seen us as brother and sister, or stepbrother and sister, I get how that sounds a little odd. But remember this, in our lives, we're doing this, we spend more time together during those years as a Brady family than we did with our own real families. That was the time commitment. And we were the ones that we knew and trusted and got along with and understood. So, Maureen's pretty easy on the eyes and always was. So it seemed kind of natural to me. But as those teenage things, they just kind of flames out, and she and I were destined to go in different directions.
I have two.
I love her though.
Oh, she's great. I've met her a few times. What is it like when people approach you? And you're Barry Williams. You're a great singer, by the way, amazing entertainer. But people call you Greg Brady. But when I told, and by the way, a big shout out to Mike Eisenstadt who made this possible. He's both our agents. You get it. I mean, from the beginning, Barry, you were Greg Brady, but you didn't go, I'm a thespian, I'm this, I'm that, I'm not Greg Brady. You understood the part. You were this icon to so many children all over the world. And I want to give you props for that. I really do, because a lot of actors don't. They go, "Oh, that was just a role I played," but you were more than that, and
Yeah.
you accepted it.
I have a lot of empathy for actors who are not comfortable in public, because it's part and parcel. If you are fortunate enough to be successful, and so if people start recognizing you and you're just not comfortable doing that, and I get it, many people are not. I think that would create a lot of angst, a lot of frustration. Um, I love what I do. I chose it. I just finished doing a comedy a week and a half ago in Kansas City, near where I live. I had as much fun doing that as I have had when I started. It's many years ago, and the fame or the recognition, being recognized in public from the show, that was always just kind of part of the territory, I felt. And rather than closing me down, it's opened up a whole world of people that I never would have met. I live in a little town in Missouri, Branson, Missouri, where and I love being here. It's a resort community, but this is how people relate to me here. It's kind of, think like Andy Mayberry, that kind of life. It's a very simple life. It's nice, great people, a lot of heart, authenticity, and no traffic like LA. And so, like, oftentimes when I'm working, I'm by myself. So I'll go into a cafe or breakfast shop and sit down and eat. People here will just come and sit next to me. They don't even ask. They just pick up "Oh, Greg, it's so great to see you here. Have you been here long?" And we just came in from Oklahoma, and we're going to see a couple of shows. We heard you were here, but this is great. What you have for breakfast?
They pick up your tab. They pick up your tab.
No. Everyone thinks that you have more money than than
anybody. Yeah,
than anybody, right? So I have just used that to be people are nice. When they're nice, when they're friendly, then it doesn't cost anything to be friendly back, and I appreciate that they've shared and seen and enjoyed the show.
That's so cool, Barry. Now you have a Cameo too, where people can reach out to you and get videos from you. Is there what's the maybe weirdest one you've ever gotten?
Oh boy, I might have to give that I just got one. First, let's talk about what Cameo is, so you can understand how kind of bizarre this is. Cameo is a company that I really became active with when COVID hit, and a lot of things were it disappeared. I'm the national ambassador for MeTV, the network that shows all kind of classic television shows and things like that. And so I would go from town to town, do appearances on their behalf, and kind of represent the network and talk about how cool I think they are, because that's what I watch. And all those appearances went away. There was no way to get out and reach out to fans. A lot of these things are like convention center kinds of events where fans can come and people talking, and Cameo came along, which is basically Zoom oriented. It's on camera, great company. And if someone calls in to request a video message from me, then they'll tell me a little bit about who it's for and what it's about. And they're all manner of things. They're anniversaries, graduations, pep talks, retirement, getting married. I want you to tell my girlfriend that. My mom used to watch and it's her birthday. So there are all these kinds of occasions that they're suited for. And most people want me to kind of do it Greg Brady style, which is like, hey, we want you to have how can I say this? We want to wish you a happy birthday, Brady style. So we want it to be far out.
Oh God.
And out of sight, and a super groovy happy birthday, fun stuff like that. So that's what Cameo is. Now, sometimes people like to take advantage of that kind of thing. So I will have I had someone, going back to your question, come in and say, would you mind, I'm running for office in this little town and, in North Dakota. And, and I'm about, and she gives me the whole platform. And then she wants me to do like a stump speech.
Oh, God.
And if there's anything that we don't need is for Greg Brady to get into politics. We just don't need that in life. It comes from a different place.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
It's all good. It's all above board. And, we're just going to go have some fun.
I have two great stories that I got to tell you, Barry. One is I used to work at this place called the Hollywood Tropicana in Hollywood, California. It was female mud wrestling. Okay. My parents are proud.
Oh, I went there.
You went there. There we go.
Yeah.
Before
it was mud, and then for a while you were experimenting with body oil, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oil and mud. Yes, sir. Yeah. I know. Look at Lauren; she's cringing. But I have to tell the story. So it's Friday night. I was the MC. Yes, my parents are proud, and it was packed. It was packed. I mean, you couldn't get a seat. This guy taps me on the shoulder at 10 o'clock at night, prime time. I go, listen, buddy, I don't have time. I turn around, Christopher Knight. And he looks at me and he goes, I made some reservations for my buddy's bachelor party. I don't know what my seats are taken. I go, buddy, you follow me. I took security, cleaned the front row out, put all of his friends there, everybody. And I go, that's because you're a Brady. Oh my God, it was great. It was great.
Oh, that's fun. What a fun place to work. I bet you do have a lot of stories.
I can tell you stories on your show, The Real Brady Boys. Brothers. But the other story was my buddy. I went to the University of Arizona, and we had Rush, and my buddy Greg Leifer. He wasn't a face man like yourself. He wasn't great, but he called himself Greg Brady to all the girls. And boy, he even put the name tag on. Greg Brady. The girls go, "Are you?" He goes, "I am," and he's from Buffalo, New York. He's the greatest guy in the world, but not a very handsome guy. Well, he gets by. But oh my God, so many girls surrounded him thinking he was you. So you had an imposter in the 80s. Just want you to know that.
Hey, this Brady just walked in here. Can you hold 1 second?
Please. Come on. This is great. Oh boy. Let's see who walks in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, very exciting, Brad.
Very exciting. Is it Tiger? Who is it? What do you think?
I don't, Brad, you said this was going to happen 3 years ago. You were putting this into the universe.
I told you, yeah. Uh-oh, here we go.
Oh, that's a beauty.
Oh, what's your name? Or is it a boy or girl?
The boy, and it's Brady. His name is Brady.
Oh, Brady. Oh,
how you came up with that name? Is that sweet?
I didn't come up with it. My wife did.
Boy, a big shout out to your publicist, your wife Tina. She's wonderful, by the way. Thank you. Oh, how old? Tell us about Brady.
Well, he's a rescue. He was found wandering the streets in a winter near December in Springfield, Missouri, and we got him. He was about 4, 5. He's about 14 now, and he's just our love cat with the green eyes.
And he knows you saved his life. Isn't that beautiful? Oh.
Took a year and a half before I could get him to purr.
Wow, really?
Now he's like a motor mouth.
Does he sleep in your bed with Tina?
Usually, yeah. He'll wanders in and out.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Wow. So he was a rescue, or was he a stray? How did you
rescue?
That's
Cool.
beautiful.
My wife. I'll tell you a little bit about how we got him. Tina found him, but she was looking specifically for black cats. Because with strays, with rescues, black cats are the first to be euthanized because of their color, because of black, and the last to be adopted, first to be euthanized. So she specifically wanted to have a black cat, and I'm so glad. This is the greatest cat I've ever had. He's just, gosh, what a personality.
The three of us love animals. Georgie is
my
Lauren. Her love. I have Annie, a golden doodle. Lauren has beautiful Georgie. We love animals. Aren't animals better than people, Barry?
No.
Well, I think they are.
But they can be more loving. Yes.
That's true.
They certainly can be more loving. and the needs are so simple. Just just pets and food and shelter, and
What would you tell young actors today? What would your advice be for young actors? You worked before you got the Brady Bunch, and you're still working today. You're the nicest guy. What do you tell a young actor? What's some advice you can give?
Well, the first thing is there's no specific way to sort of what you might say accumulate credits. There are certain things that are helpful in doing that, and I'll go through those. But it's in college. Oftentimes, if you're going to be a professional, take like a lawyer or a doctor or or a veterinarian or something, then there's certain classes you take, certain things that you do, certain ways, and then there are certain introductions that you get, and you can kind of create your own career. That doesn't work that way in show business. That's important to know. But what is helpful is to study the craft, because there is a craft to all of this, and gain experience. And actors are a good source for kind of what's going on in town, because they're out and looking as well. So if you're working with actors, and on classes, community theater is helpful because it gives you experience. Ultimately, you're going to have to be, if you show business, like you're talking movies and television, I assume.
Yes.
Then you're going to have to be where they make them, and the places, even if they're not filmed there all the time, where the decisions are being made and the casting is being done. It's usually either New York, Chicago, L.A. Well, in Canada now, but so you could probably need to be in that mix somewhere, and ultimately you're going to have some representation, because that's how interviews, auditions are booked. And anyone who's listening to you and is following the steps, I hope that you are fortunate enough to get the kind of quality and fair and solid representation that Brad and I have in Michael Eisenstadt. I've been with him for more than 25 years. And I know that he's representing me, and he's not one of those guys who goes in and goes, no, whatever it is, no, he's a real straight shooter. And unfortunately, that's pretty rare.
Yeah. He sees he's something special.
But my point about that is, remember that the representation that you get is someone who's representing you. So it's good to like them.
And if they embarrass themselves, they're also embarrassing you. He's got to be solid, and Mike is so solid across the board. Lauren is a great actress. Lauren has done so many great things. That's how we met. We met many years ago, and then Lauren asked me. I was so blessed to do a podcast with her. And let me ask you this. You were an iconic character on an iconic show. Did you get invited to all sorts of great stuff? Parties? Yes. Did you beat the line? What is the greatest party you ever went to? Did you ever go to the White House, or did you ever go to
MTV Movie Awards is the party of the year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's great. Really great. A lot of fun. Everybody's just having fun. Nobody's not too serious. It's all equal. It's all even playing field. And with Christopher Knight and Florence Henderson and Susan Olsen, we did some parodies of different shows. We did. Hang on, I'll get it here. Oh, I'll just describe them. One was the Tom Cruise movie where with Jack Nicholson. I want the truth.
Anger Management.
No.
A Few Good Men. A Few
Good Men. And we did the one with the crossing and the uncrossing of the legs.
With that
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great.
And we did The Bodyguard, and Florence played Whitney's role, and I played Kevin Costner's role.
All right.
So that's why we have to be there. But we had and Eddie comedian.
Eddie
Murphy.
Murphy was hosting, and
Oh.
it was you just don't get more than that. Yeah,
Can't get better than that.
Brian Hefferman asked, what bands did Barry hang out with in the 70s and 80s?
Hanging out, it'd be more like listening to music, I guess you'd say, because I didn't do a lot of hanging out. There was a lot of work to be done. And remember, Brady's it wasn't just a TV show. I mean, we had a lot of responsibilities. We had promo tours to do. We were recording songs. We did 5 albums. We toured. So we were going. But I was listening to, usually it turns out, the songs that I could sing along with. So James Taylor was very high on my playlist. Neil Diamond, Elton John. I actually made a study of kind of, songs that were in that sort of in performers that were sort of in that ilk.
You might want to get a restraining order against me because I saw the Brady Bunch play at the Geffen Theater in Westwood 17 times. Okay. Wow. Oh yeah. And I loved it. Did you endorse it? Did you like it?
I saw it at the Geffen.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Westwood Playhouse, I thought.
Right, Westwood Playhouse, and now it's the Geffen. I used to take people in a limo, girls that I liked, and some buddies who I let tag along. And we went to the Brady Bunch house in North Hollywood. We saw that, took pictures, had some dinner, went to the play.
You hear the news today?
Oh no, what happened? Something good?
Yeah, I'll send you the link. It's for sale.
Oh.
Again?
Yeah. Yep. HGTV, who owns it and renovated it.
Yeah.
To look like the Brady Bunch house. Exactly. They put it on the market.
I'm buying it.
Yep. Well, that's why I said I got to get you the link. Bid in.
Oh, get me the link.
You know who was close? Who was close to buying it was Lance Bass.
That's right. Maybe he'll come back and buy. Oh.
He had an offer that had been accepted until HGTV said, "Wait a minute, maybe," and then they doubled the price, and it was ridiculous.
Was that fun to renovate the whole house, like inside, like it was? Because that would tell the audience that was a stage, right? All that was a stage when you did the show, except the exterior. Why did they use that house as the exterior?
It was random. It was just a kind of a typical, suburban home. Had a nice view. It was in the valley. Sherwood Schwartz lived close to the valley, but one of the people that worked on the production went out and took a picture. It doesn't match the inside at all. Well, for one thing, it was one story.
Right, exactly.
So there's all of that. So HGTV, in a very Brady renovation in 18 and 19, they went in and made it look like the set that we worked on the soundstage at Paramount Studios. It was, I think, the greatest professional experience of my career. Out of all, just loved it. I loved being with everybody again. It was very nostalgic. We missed having Florence and Robert Reed and Ann Davis, of course.
Yeah.
But we as a group were together for, it took about 15 months. We were traveling all over again. And I living in Branson, I had to travel to LA like 14 times. And and New York when we were promoting, things like that. So it was great being with everybody and reminiscing. And then at one point, we all got on the staircase, to do like the photo. And I looked down and I went, oh my gosh, this is exactly how my arm was on the rail when we took the picture in 1969. So it was really, really, really interesting.
Amazing. Lauren, isn't it amazing? All these generations that when it started in the late 60s into the 70s, to this day, kids are still watching, and the grandkids are still watching it. It's just so great how Sherwood Schwartz did it, and you guys acted, because it always ends. It all wraps up with a nice little message at the end. That's what I loved about it.
This is what I found during the podcast. Exactly what you said. Having some distance and hence some objectivity while we're watching it, and trying to understand, kind of why people have gravitated the show, and it's multi-generational. At the end of all of these, you go, that's nice. It's a little buried in life, and it's a little, not real, but it feels good, and it's a nice kind of ideal. And that was Sherwood's whole thing. The basis of the show was how to get along, how to learn to get along. And as we watch these episodes, that's what we see. Like, for instance, especially in the first couple of years, somebody in the Brady family has a problem. Everybody jumps on board with them. Their lives stop. Everything is about, making Jan feel better about herself, or trying to tell Marcia that she's getting too full of herself, or the braces don't matter, or whatever it is. Bobby
and that damn Buddy Hinton. Don't you make fun of Cindy like that.
Peter took care of him.
Oh my God, Peter just decked him. I loved
him. So that's, I don't know a lot of families that work exactly that way, but it would be nice if we could kind of get closer to it.
That's great. Yeah, no, I love the message, and I love the iconic like opening for the show. It's just
Zoom.
it's just so different, and it's still like I guess one of the most iconic TV shows of our time, which is so cool. Like, it's just amazing. We didn't ask you, Barry, how did you get into acting? Like, what made you want to be an actor?
Well, I grew up in that generation of television, but as a youngster, as in like kindergarten, I was watching a show on Saturday mornings called God, I don't know what names, so difficult.
Banana Splits?
No.
Remember that?
No, it was a Western. And I'll think of it in a second. Anyway, it was a Western, and the guy was a ranch hand. He adopted a kid that was about 9, 10, so about 4 or 5 years older than I was, 6 years old. And I just thought that was the be all end all of everything. I wanted to be, and it was about a black horse, and no one could ride the horse except for this kid. And and I wanted to be that boy. And it starred Peter Graves. And turns out that his daughter was in my little school classroom. And then I found out that her dad was Peter Graves, and that was it. I wanted to be, on television. And that stayed with me for, until I started, which was when I was 11, about seven years later. And I did what I was just telling everybody else to do. I went out and studied acting and technique, and I did it in classrooms. And we had then I started taking private lessons to learn how to audition and how to cold read and how to do that kind of a thing. And then after that went on for about another year, I was introduced to an agent. And that agent put me in the agency, and that's how things got going.
What junior high and high school did you go to in LA?
Paul Revere Junior High and Pali High.
Oh, that's great. I went to Emerson and Uni High. All right.
My dad went to uni.
Did he? Was anybody in your family in show business at all?
No.
You're the only actor. I love that. That is so exciting. Oh man, I mean, the stories you must have. And by the way, what kind of props did you steal from the set beside the tiki? I love that. I have some stuff I want to show you, Barry. I got this here. Let's see. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
There we go. See
Hold
that?
it. Oh, nice.
Yeah, got that.
Have that.
And then I got this book. Okay, we got this book.
I have that.
Okay, but my claim to fame that I keep under my pillow. This one was it was written by you.
I love that.
That's the pretty. Look at this picture of you. I like that. Look at that handsome guy. There he is. Hey, buddy, that's so great. So any props? Any great props you still have?
Do you know who Christopher Amoruso is?
No, who's Christopher Amoruso?
Okay, he took that picture. Look him up.
Oh,
he's really, really cool guy.
Is your buddy? You just took that picture, or is he a professional photographer?
He's professional. He's both. He's a friend, but I met him in professional circumstances, and I paid him for that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good picture of you. I love it.
Thanks.
So you had the tiki. Did you get to steal anything else? Did they let you take stuff, your wardrobe or anything? Because
wardrobe.
No, my buddy.
I'm wearing bell bottoms now.
You wear bell bottoms. Oh, and remember when you put that stuff? I always goof on Lauren's mom, the sweetest lady. Lauren colored her hair and it turned orange. Remember that episode? Oh my God, that was a great episode. Right?
Last episode we filmed.
That's right. Right. You wait. What was that?
That was the very last episode we filmed.
Oh,
The end of this year.
Really? Wow. My buddy James Commissar is selling his whole TV memorabilia collection. And what does he have? He has Alice's maid's outfit.
Wow.
Yes, he is.
He's tired of wearing it. Huh?
I'm sorry?
And he's tired of wearing it?
He was wearing it for many years and then it got kind of tight on him. So
yes, I understand.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Well, he probably was eating all of Alice's cooking and stuff. And
exactly. Could she cook?
Too much meatloaf will do that.
Oh, that is so. You guys must have laughed on the set. Any stories you can tell us, like, filming an episode, some funny stuff that used to happen? Of course, all the parents were there. Did you have your parents there with you, or did you have a social worker or a studio teacher? How did that work?
Well, we have to have studio teachers. And then each of us had an appointed guardian or their mother. I was in a different situation with that because being older, we started at 14. So 14 and 15, well, really 14 to 15 and a half. So about a year and a half, my mom was going. And once I had my learner's permit, then I'd usually go with, an appointed guardian so I could drive and, stuff like that.
Right.
By the time I was 16, I had Christopher Knight's mom kind of appointed as my guardian, but that didn't, keep me from getting in trouble. And
Greg Brady got in trouble? Wait a minute. What's going on here?
What do you think?
I love it. I like to hear some of those stories off camera. God, it's so funny. Did you ever imagine in your whole life where this would take you?
No, there's no way to project this. We talk about the Brady Bunch, and I think the original show was so imprinted that sometimes it seems like we did this show in the early 70s, and then there's now. But there was the Brady Bunch, and there was a cartoon show, and then there was the Brady Variety Hour, and then there was a Brady Girls Get Married, and then the Brady Brides, and then there was the Very Brady Christmas, and then in the 80s we had another series called The Bradys, and then in the 90s we had the books and the movies, and in 2001 I actually produced that book you're holding, Growing Up Brady, into a television movie for NBC. And and then, just as recently as a couple of years ago, HGTV's Very Brady Renovation was the highest rated show that has ever been on HGTV, which is like amazing. And so fun things have come out of it. I don't know if you knew that Christopher Knight and Michael Lookinland, Bobby and I, all did Masked Singer this past.
Yes, I saw that. That was
very fun to do. We were at the Emmys because the Brady Bunch theme song was being acknowledged as one of the great television theme songs, along with some really good ones. So all those things are kind of fun. So there's always a little bit of Brady going on there.
Do you have kids?
I have two. I have a son who is going into his third year of college in California, and I have a daughter who is 12.
How cool is that? My dad is Greg Brady. Oh my!
It's not so hot for them. My son is the spitting image of the way that I looked when when I was his age, and growing up, it was kind of like that too. And so a lot of people, you look so much like your dad. You look so much like your dad. Well, no kid wants to hear that. I used to tell people, please, if you're going to mention how he looks, tell him that I look a lot like him. And that worked better.
That's so funny. What were you going to say, Lauren?
Oh, I was just going to ask about the podcast, because a few of my viewers actually watch your podcast and they were really excited that you're here. And they just said, great podcast. When do you do it? How can people watch it?
Okay, we're not on camera. It's audio. Anywhere podcasts, it's just all you have to do is remember the name. It's called Real Brady Bros, and if you forget that, Google it. Right? But the best way to go is the Facebook page, Real Brady Bros, BROS, because in addition to the podcast, and our podcast is pretty specific. It is episodic recap. We take a show every week, and both Chris and I watch it independently. We make notes, we exchange our notes, and then we get together weekly in front of a kind of like we're doing this. We don't use the pictures, but we use the audio, and then we go through our notes and the episode. It's kind of like sitting down to dinner with us. It's really, it's very, very like up close and personal, if you will. So that's the best way. But we also do Q&As. So people that are tuned into the Facebook page, they have questions, then our producer kind of goes through those, and then we do a separate podcast of questions, kind of like we're doing right now with you. And so you can't get that if you just go to well, I guess you can. I guess you could find that. It'd be Q&As, like Q&A 42 or Q&A 36, that kind of thing.
Did you ever go to the Playboy Mansion, just between us girls?
Several times.
That's my man.
Several times.
You forgot about me.
I did tennis tournaments there.
Oh, that's great.
This was earlier, like maybe 90s, when the Grotto, was still like a cool place to go hang out and be in and stuff. And he had events like all the time. Sometimes there were charity events, and sometimes just parties. Sometimes there were tennis events because he had has a beautiful tennis court there. And of course, I'm a swimmer, so I was in the pool.
Oh, that's good.
But he had cameras everywhere.
You were on the Battle of the Network Stars too, weren't you? One of my
a couple of different versions of that.
Yeah, I saw you in that. You're a good athlete, man. You're a good athlete.
Thank you.
I have to say. So I really appreciate you doing this, Barry. It means so much. Eisenstadt and I are going to take you out for a nosh when you're in LA with Lauren. We're going to go to Factor's Deli, and we're going to really have it up. But the last question I have for you is, what would you tell your younger self? What would Barry Williams tell your younger self?
I've actually given that some thought, because, oftentimes you say, well, I don't want to change anything. But there is something I would change. I would have not put as much pressure on myself as a kid. I'd tell myself, lighten up. It's okay. And it's going to be all right. Because I was, very serious and very, like that. I'm much lighter than I used to be, when I was younger. And I think I missed a lot as a result of that. So, because I was, like worried about it or putting pressure on myself or not living up to some unrealistic expectation. And I think being a kid, I wish, if I was there, I'd just say, hey, it's all right. It's all going to get taken care of. Just enjoy. Be a kid.
Lighten up, Francis.
Go home.
Right.
Lighten up, right.
Be you. Just be you. Exactly. The universe takes care of you. Yeah.
I have one more question, Brad. We forgot to ask the question we always ask our guests. Barry, what was your first job that wasn't Hollywood related?
Paper route.
Paper route.
I had several of them. I was like when I was 9, 10. I was. At one point I was doing 2 a day. I would finish them and then I'd come back and do another one.
Wow.
But that was on the bicycle, and I had the bags of I had to fold all the newspapers, put a rubber band. I had to buy rubber bands and put each one by hand. My hands would be all black from the ink, and then stuff in my in my Evening Outlook newspaper bags that hung on the front on the handlebars. Oh my God.
The banana bars? The banana bars.
No, you couldn't put them on there.
You couldn't put them on those. Yeah.
I had to have a regular, like 3-geared bicycle with regular handlebars and the low butterfly. And so that was a challenge. I mean, that was, I'd come home from school and I was back out there. And then I had to run around in person and ask for to be paid for the month.
Get your money.
Yeah. Well, again.
Oop. There. He froze. He talking about money, Lawrence. He just froze.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is, he's froze. Will he come unfrozen? That's
soon.
That's okay. How cool was this? This is like the best thing. Oh, there it is. There he is. There he's coming back. Please. We want to say goodbye.
Yeah, a
Lord,
lot of my fans are so excited, Brad. They
I
said this
know.
is
Brian, relax, buddy. Relax. Excited too. Barry is the best. Oh, what a nice guy. I met him a couple times over the years, and he was always gracious.
such a
Always.
really sweet guy. And
And
you
he
were
gets
talking
it.
about getting him in for a while.
Didn't I tell you? I'm gonna find. I gotta get him, and we got him.
Yeah.
Well, you
Very-
know what? Hopefully he'll come back. But I just want to thank his wife Tina. I want to
Yes.
thank.
There we go.
There we
There
go. He's back.
Hey, I don't know what happened.
You were in the play
technology.
Frozen. You were in the play Frozen. Yeah.
So here's the thing. So I'll just finish that.
Yeah. No, say whatever you want.
So,
No.
Of course.
yes. So they, but a lot of times it wouldn't be home, and there were like, 72 people on this route. So
Oh, man.
it was a good first job.
Your parents,
Fracking.
that's great work ethic. That's great work ethic. You were 2 paper routes, not just 1. That's cool. That is really cool.
2 at a time at one point. But I had them for like 4 years.
That's, oh my God, 4 years.
I had to give it up because I finally had to give it because I was working, in Hollywood.
Is it true? This is another myth, legendary story that Reuben Kincaid was your manager. I'm just kidding. I just throwing. Oh, he froze again. Oh no, that was Dave Madden, and that was Partridge Family. Did you ever party with those guys? David Cassidy, Danny Bonaducci.
Oh,
That was a good question too. Oh yeah, I couldn't hear.
no, I didn't. They were on separate lots, different times,
Okay.
and
Different times, okay. But you guys ran into each other. You guys passed in the night, right?
Yeah.
Some parties and stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
That's so good.
you might want to look up celebrity boxing with
Oh,
Danny
that's right.
Bonaducci and Barry Williams.
Boxing. Oh, I remember that. Oh,
That'd be cool.
that train wreck. Oh my! I hope you got paid a lot of money for that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Barry, thank you.
My charity got a lot, but anyway,
good.
yeah.
No, that's good.
What is your charity? Let's promote them.
Yes, please.
Well, that was cerebral palsy that I
Wow.
dedicated that money to.
Uh-huh.
God bless you. That's so great. Barry, we know you're busy. You took time to do this. We want to thank you so much.
It was a
I will
pleasure.
see you in LA. Show
Love it.
number 104 in the books, baby.
All right.
That's Lauren Francesca. I'm Brad Grenny Grunberg, and that's Greg Brady Williams. We'll see you next time on How to Start. Barry, thank you, buddy. We love
Thank
you,
you,
man.
Barry. Everyone follow him, the Barry Williams, on Instagram, and make sure to check out his Cameo, cameo.com/Barry Williams, or his Facebook, which is linked in our description,
Yes.
at the Brady Bros.
The Brady Bros. Listen, get a cameo. Thanks,
All right,
Brady
Brady.
on,
guys. Thank you, Barry.
Brady
Bye now.
on. Groovy, man. Groovy. Yeah.